All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to Poker Vlog number 4. Started off this day with a little bit of studying and reviewing a prior session, but that stuff's kind of boring, so let's get into it. All right, I work at this gym right down the street from my house, and they have these energy drinks that I like, so just heading inside right before the stream, gonna get some caffeine and then get on the way. All right, geez, got my beard looking super orange during golden hour today, but we got some caffeine. Zin's in the bag. We got a player's choice stream today, so we're going to show up. The players are going to choose the game and the stakes, and we'll go from there. Let's go. All right, a little bit of background on this game. It's a 1-3 game with a $300 cap and then match the stack. So typically what ends up happening pretty much every time is everybody goes all in blind, and that way somebody can scoop and we can top up to like $2,000 and make the game a true Texas 1-3 game. So I'm just gonna let this audio play and let you guys get a feel for how wild this game is.
Somebody got your all the smoke got that Queen Jack, kind of like you said, never loses.
Never loses, but I mean this is a tough one here. 7 hands.
Oh, with you, kind of like you beat me to it. Kind of like say what?
He beat us.
7.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect.
Let's see what.
Oh, I've got the king. Nobody's still showing a king.
And there ain't nobody's showing a 10 either.
A deuce.
7.
There's another 3. Ain't nobody got no 3.
Oh,
I got 7-3. 6 on the river.
There's ace on the
Got
river.
aces.
So K-Rock and Big Johnny gonna chop this up. Big Johnny and K-Rock gonna chop this thing up, Cadillac.
Maybe. Hold on, we gotta watch out.
yeah, they sure are. Aces and 3s with a king kicker.
No chop. We got to run it back.
Now, I ain't never heard of that rule.
Don't worry about it. We get that bounty too.
That's the best hand pre-flop.
Well, rip to my first $300. But good news is I got reload chips. So a couple hands later, look down at ace queen suited in the cutoff, and there's a bunch of straddles. I think it was like 1, 3, 6, 15, 30, 60, something like that. So I decided to just make it 175 to go, and all the smoke from one of those straddles goes ahead and just goes all in. So I'm not folding, obviously, at this point, and just hope to get my money back from the first hand and get back to even at least.
I hate to go. I got a small pocket pair.
All right, so it folds around. I make this call. Obviously, we are going to rip it once, and I'm going to need an ace or a queen.
Jarhead's ahead right now, equity-wise.
Diamonds. I'm with you, Maya. Let's go. Girl power.
Pretty good flop, but I'm going to need to hit a turn or a river, and this is actually something I've been working pretty hard on, is hitting turns and rivers, and bink! Hit the ace on the river. Could have hit ace, queen, or 10, but like I said, I've been working pretty hard on that skill of hitting rivers, so happy to show you guys that my hard work is paying off early in this stream.
She was good until the river, and we know how that river card could be sometimes, Cadillac. We hate it too. Ugh.
That's why we call it a reload, and she's definitely got more bullets. She pulls out.
All right, hand 13. There's a bunch of straddles again, I think up to like $40. I look down at queen 7 of clubs on the button when it folds around to me, so I make this one 125 to go and only get one caller from the $40 straddle. So even though this is far from a premium hand, it's still a great spot to play heads up in position in bloated pots, where I think I'm gonna have more creative ways to win the hand than most of my opponents. Flop is king queen deuce, and on a king queen high board in game I was thinking, okay, this is just a small range bet, monotone board, I want to bet small. So that's what I did with 75. Looking back on it, I don't really love it because a good thinking player is just going to know that they're going to have way more flushes than me with 2 big spades out there, being the out of position caller. But it worked out. He had dust, so take down that nice little pot. Next hand, look down at pocket 6s. No straddles for some reason. Don't really know why that happened, because normally the straddles were on all night, big straddles. But look down at pocket 6s from early position and decide to make it 20 to go.
Because, again, we have another...
And we get 4 callers, so going 5 ways to this flop, $100 in the pot.
For sure.
Ace, queen, 9 with 2 hearts. So this board is going to be better for me. Multi-way, I figure somebody is probably going to have something, so I decide to bet about half pot into 4 people, which is probably a bit too big, but I wasn't really expecting any folds. I was kind of expecting a call flop, maybe call turn, and then I was just going to bomb the river, especially with good runouts for my range. But make it 55, get 1 caller, and then on the turn, after I get 1 caller, all of the dust in everybody's range is gone. So I decided to go with a slight overbet, just trying to get him to fold either a weak ace, queen, maybe get called by a flush draw, and then bet the river and get a fold. But works out right away. Get the fold from Jack 10 on the turn, which wasn't really expecting that hand to fold, but it was an overbet, so I'll take it. Took it down. Kind of was bluffing with the best hand, but scooping in a nice little pot.
It's a nice little wage, a nice little prize there.
This next hand there is a raise to 20 from under the gun, bunch of callers, and I look down at 9-10 of clubs in the small blind. From the small blind, I really don't want to do a lot of flatting, just especially with a hand like this, 9-10, that if it goes multi-way, it's just going to be very, very hard to realize my equity. Going to be hard to know where I'm at. Can't really check raise a lot of flops. I decided to just 3-bet this up to 150, so pretty sizable 3-bet out of position, and with a bunch of opponents in there, I wanted to give them a worse price. But the first player calls, and that's just going to start the train. So now I'm kind of wishing I would have just called, because it's the same result, but now the pot is super bloated. So Texas heads up here, 5 ways to a 3-bet pot out of position, $753 in the middle. But we flop top pair, so that's good news, or decent news, I think. I decided to make a pretty big bet here, about half the size of the pot, into 4 people. So this is obviously very strong. It's probably quite a bit of an overplay, but with, I mean, you guys can see the hands, queen 5, king deuce. I know the ranges are super wide, so it's probably pretty likely that they just whiff this flop, and I'm going to have the best hand a lot of the time. But I get kind of some bad news right away. JR, boss man, stuffs it right in my face for 1.6K. And now this spot sucks. So I'm just going to let this audio play. I was kind of talking out loud. I said, what did I get myself into? So take a look at how this one plays out. What did I get myself into here?
Called out his pocket 7s.
Boss man can have anything right here.
That's right.
I'm sure he's gonna make this. He got a flush draw, JR.
Yep, that's what he.
Damn.
He has to be concerned. You always have to be concerned about a set as well, but.
He said, "You got a flush draw, JR. I got a pair."
I said I have a pair. I would believe that. I don't know. I'm not folding top pair on stream. And there it is. You guys can hear what I said. I'm not folding top pair on stream. I don't know if that's good or bad logic, but that's what it was. So all of a sudden we're playing a 3.9K pot in a 1-3 game, and I'm ahead, but technically behind in equity. First run out, great for us. So now we're free rolling. Just need to dodge a queen or a spade. 6 of clubs on the turn takes away one of his queen outs, and trips on the river just for fun. So gonna scoop this nearly $4,000 pot, 1,300 big blinds, with 9-10 of clubs, 1 pair. So, very good result. Obviously, like I said, not in love with how I played that hand, but it worked out for the best. And results are the only thing that matters. I don't care what anybody says.
by crumbs to not get the bounty.
Oh, by 15?
Crumbs.
2,500 on top.
3,900 going to Jarhead. Get this man a color up.
I got some. How much you want?
Yeah, I get the last bounty chip.
I think there's two.
I thought last
No,
night
those are
was
the extras.
crazy and insane, man. Shout out to Big Meech and everybody that played last
Yeah,
night.
wait, give me the bounty chip and then we'll do the payout so we can
Did a hell of a
restart.
job last night on stream. And
Huge hand there for Jarhead. Looks like he's gone from about even to now up 2,500.
that's all it takes.
All right, next hand, it is 1, 3, 10, 20. Couple weak sauce limps in front of me. I look down at 7, 8 of hearts in the cutoff, and I decided to make this one 100. Not a premium either, but super playable hand. I know it's probably going to go multi-way, but especially with deep stacks, I'm most likely going to be able to outplay my opponents.
going to raise it up here to 100. Big Johnny said he's priced in, so he's going to.
And get a super good flop. Combo draw. Gut shot and a flush draw. But before I even have a chance to do anything,
Oh my gosh.
Big Johnny just jams all in for close to a pot-sized bet in front of me. This was a bit concerning because I could easily have the nut flush draw. I could have queen, so I don't really know what to think of this. A lot of times people do this with just like top pair, which obviously I'm in decent shape against. As you guys can see, it's much worse than that. He flopped a set and just decided to jam it, so don't blame him. Multi-way, super draw heavy board. And then I did something again that I didn't like. I raised it to 800 here, and I really don't know what I was thinking in game. I think probably I'm trying to get maybe better flush draws to fold, but it sounds super optimistic thinking back on it now, but that's what I did. JR shows a queen, so either way, and it's a black queen, so I know I'm in good shape against whatever he has. Even if he has queens, then I just know I need to hit a heart, and obviously when he's tanking, he doesn't have queens or two pair or anything like that. Don't really know what I'm rooting for here, but again, I kind of wish I didn't raise, but JR ends up tanking for a while and makes the fold. So we're going to run this one out twice for a 1.6k pot,
And a gutty. And a gutty.
which actually it's a 1.1k pot.
6.
So I need a 6 or a heart.
10.
And get no such help on the first board. JR actually would have went runner nuts, so he's not happy about my raise. But now I actually am kind of happy about it because he would have turned top 2 pair and bet, and I would have had to call, and then would have had to fold the river. So this raise actually saved me, and if JR would have jammed it, I think I probably also would have had to call, and he would have won a giant side pot against me. So once again, I think I played this one pretty bad, but the results, even though I lost the hand, actually ended up working out for me because I got JR to fold where he would have won a big side pot. At least he would have got some value on a turn bet if he decided to lead out on the turn. But anyways, lose like $500 or $600 this hand. Could have been much worse. So I'm happy I made that $800 raise on the flop, even though looking back on it, I really don't know what that accomplishes. All right, took a little beating last hand. Next hand, look down at pocket queens. And Bobby makes a call to the $10 straddle from +1, and I decided to bump this one up to 60 from early position. Not really expecting a ton of folds, as you guys can see how this game is going, but I have a premium. I want to get some money in there, hopefully not see an ace or king on the flop. But we go 3 ways to this flop, and a king is exactly what we see.
The king in the window for Mr. Bobby. Jarhead has those ladies over there.
So this one checks around. But the turn is another king. Checks to me. I actually thought my queens may have been good here. I want to get some value from maybe smaller pocket pairs and flush draws, maybe some ace-high hands. And Bobby gives me the bad news. Stuffs it in my face again. I was value betting, I think, but now I just have a pretty clear fold. If he's bluffing, then good for him. He probably has a ton of equity if he is bluffing anyways, but not a bluff. He turned trip kings. I was basically dead from the flop, so nice hand to Bobby. I think I don't mind this bet here on the turn. I think I'm going to get called by worse. I mean, you guys can see K-Rock called with a smaller pocket pair. Those were kind of the hands I was targeting, but just happened to run into trip kings. This next hand, look down at king-queen offsuit from the small blind. Decide to not 3-bet this one this time. A lot of times I would, but my image was super aggressive at this point. Every hand was going super multi-way. I just kind of didn't want to bloat the pot at this point. The graphics are a little bit wrong. There's actually about 100 in the pot to start this hand. I don't really remember the exact pre-flop action, but Chief bets pot basically on the flop for $100 on 3-5-6, and my hand is just absolute dust. But I have some plans to bluff diamonds, to bluff face cards. I think he probably just has top pair or maybe pocket sevens or something like that. Turn jack. I debated leading out here, but decided not to. So I check it over, and Chief bets 300. So another pot-sized bet. The graphics are, like I said, they're wrong. There were about 100 there was about 100 in the pot going to the flop. So he bets 300 into 300, basically without even thinking about it. So now this was a bit concerning, but I had a bit of a live read in the moment. So obviously I'm confident that my diamonds are good. The graphics aren't even showing his hand. But we get the 4. Now there's a 4-liner. Now I think if he has a 6 or even 2 pair, pocket sevens, even a set of 5s or something is going to be in pretty disgusting shape if I make a big bet. So that's what I decided to do. There's about 900 in the pot, and I bet $750. Basically just praying for a snap fold, which is not what I get. He pretty quickly asks how much I have behind, and at this point I'm just thinking I am just cooked. He's asking how much I have behind. He's gonna raise. I can't even beat his bluffs if he's like turning some random ace of diamonds into a bluff. But he ends up tanking for a while, so now I think, okay, he's probably not gonna raise. Maybe he has one of those hands like a set or pocket 10, something like that. He's counting out a bunch of chips. I still think I'm cooked at this point. Kind of regretting this bet. This is a super weird line, and a good thinking player would probably sniff this out, that it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Although I may play some nut flushes like this, maybe, but he ends up folding pocket 2s with a diamond. So rivers the straight and then folds when I lead out. I show him the bluff, obviously, and feeling super fortunate to get that one through. I really was not expecting him to ever have a 2 in that situation, unless it was a diamond, like ace deuce of diamonds or something like that. But super fortunate to get that one through. So once again, don't know if I played this one the best, but the results worked out, so that's what we like to see. Let me know what you guys think in the comments of how I played this one, because I'm still kind of unsure. I was unsure in the moment. I'm unsure watching it back now. Obviously I'm happy that it worked out, but I don't really know if that was the best line I could have taken. Really, it probably should have just been a fold on the flop, or just a 3-bet pre-flop anyways.
3 ace queen, rainbow on that top board.
Okay.
All right, this next one, not super exciting. It's a double board PLO bomb pot, and it checks around on the flop.
An hour ago, bro.
Before Jarhead has a straight down there to steal wheel.
Checks around on the turn, and then I end up rivering a wheel on both boards. So would have folded to just a $5 bet on the flop, but end up rivering a wheel on both. So now I want to get some value from maybe just like small set that decided to kind of play it safe. So I decided to bet small, hoping that maybe they have just a 3 and a friend on the bottom for a wheel, knowing that I'm gonna 3/4 them with the wheel on top too. So I bet out 100, get 1 call, and my plan actually comes together. Get called by a 3 and a friend on the bottom for the wheel, and I have another wheel on top. So not a super exciting hand, but still feels nice to 3/4 a bomb pot and take down this profit of about $300 in this one.
Dealer buddy shipping 3/4 of this pot straight to Jarhead.
And poker's only fun when you run like cheap, you know.
$10 straddle here from all the smoke.
This next hand, there is 1 limp in front of me. I look down at Queen 7 of clubs again. Second time I've played this hand tonight. So I decided to make this 150 from in position.
Heat check.
Get 2 callers, so we're going 3 ways to this flop in position. 163 in the middle, and flop top pair. So that's always a good feeling, but it feels quite a bit worse with the bad kicker when boss man leads out for an overbet into a board that should favor my range. I think they're going to have the nut advantage, like they're going to have more king 10, 10 8, and jack 9, but anyways, turn is a 9. He checks it over to me. I check back, so that makes me feel better. I feel like I probably have the best hand. He might have just been stabbing with a jack or with a 10. River is a brick for a diamond. He checks it over to me again, and now I think my hand is good enough to go for a value bet, so I decide to bet about 60% pot for 300 into 500 and get basically snapped off. Wasn't too happy about that.
Nice hand, boss man.
But whatever, got value owned by myself. But onto this next hand, look down at 9-7 of diamonds, and there's a couple limps. Bobby raises it up to 50. I decide to isolate from in position here, make it 200 to go, and get 2 callers. So going to this flop 3 ways in a 3-bet pot with a little over $600 in the middle. So another decent spot for me here. Don't really have a good hand, but I'm in position with in a bloated pot, so I think I'm gonna figure out how to win this hand more often than not.
Mr. Bobby, Jarhead, and boss man himself.
You know what I mean? Like, whoa.
I was doing
But
that 'cause I
we're not even gonna need too much thinking when we flop top pair and a flush draw. So about as good as you can ask for. I'm in position. I make it 300 to go, about half pot. JR makes the call with the bigger flush draw, and Bobby stuffs it all in. This is another one where I don't really love this spot, but obviously I'm not folding. If he has a set, I'm doing okay. If he has an overpair, I'm doing extremely okay. And if he has a bigger flush draw, then I know I'm at least in the lead for now with a pair. So I basically snapped this off. JR Bossman decides to tank for a while and eventually makes the fold. And when I see his hand, I kind of like it and kind of don't, because that's less outs for me if I need the diamonds, but also at least I know that now my diamonds are most likely live. So he makes the fold. Bobby shows 9-5 of spades, so in super good shape against his hand. We just had to run this one out twice. You guys can see I have 81% equity to scoop this one. So hoping for a clean run out, and hopefully I can scoop this one. Turn 8 of clubs, or 8 of hearts, river 8 of spades. So my 7 kicker is actually going to play. Now we're free rolling. Diamond could turn him dead. Instead, it is a 3 of clubs and 3 of hearts. So Threes full of nines on the second board. So 3/4 this one. Feels kind of bad, but still very happy to take down 1.6K in profit with 9-7. So I'll take that any day of the week. Still feels a little bad, especially after winning the first one. Could have scooped that whole 5.4K pot, but all good. On to the next.
Starting to run good. Yeah.
Vernon is a wild better player than me because I call all day and twice on Sunday. Vernon. That makes 2 of us, my guy.
All right, next hand we are upgraded to the best hand in poker, pocket aces. There's some limps. Bobby makes it 60 from the button, and I'm obviously going to be 3-betting here. 4-betting, I mean. I make it 250 to go from the small blind.
Oh,
All right, if I lose, delete.
Folds all the way around back to Bobby, who has Queen 7 of clubs. And that's the 3rd time we've seen this hand in this vlog. I've had it twice, and now Bobby's going to take it against me. So going to this flop, heads up, out of position. A little over 500 bucks in the middle, and we get a pretty good flop. 3-7 jack with 2 spades. I don't have the ace of spades, so I'm going to bet small here from out of position, see what Bobby wants to do, and he raises me immediately to 500, so pretty small raise. I contemplated bet 3-betting here from out of position. You guys saw earlier, Bobby, if he has top pair, a lot of times he's just going to go with it. But I also don't want to make this pot huge in case I'm like basically dead against a set or 2-pair or something. So anyways, just decide to make the call for 500. And if you guys could think of the worst possible card in the whole deck to see on the turn, what would it be?
That's a troublesome card.
The Jack of Spades. Just throw up in my mouth when I see this card. I snap check. Pretty much was going to fold to anything like over half pot here. But Bobby makes it 600. And even this, I thought about folding. I'm just so dead against anything he could have that is raising the flop from in position. But 600 is only like 33% pot, so I decide to peel here. Maybe hit another jack, and I could be good against pocket 7s. Obviously an ace, I'm good. But the river is the 3 of clubs. So now if he had some random 3, I'm beat. If he has a jack, I'm beat. Spades, I'm beat. But that's not the case. He had a little piece of the board, but not the piece that he needed to beat aces. So pretty good result with aces there, considering that run out. I was pretty much ready to fold the turn to anything over like 700, but stuck around for a good price, and luckily I was good. So aces hold up, scooping this pot for a little over $1,000 profit. And that pocket aces hand ended up being the last hand of note for the stream. As you guys can see some of the stats here. VPIPs all basically over 30%, some of them over 50%. Pre-flop raise, everybody's in there, everybody's aggressive for the most part. Super good game. Everybody's aggression frequency just off the charts just means they're way over c-betting, basically, which means looking at that I probably should be checking for more out of position and check raising if they're over c-betting. So maybe something to think about in the future. So pretty good result. Good stream. Got a lot of playable hands. I think I didn't play a lot of them the best, but results oriented. That's how I'm going to look at it. So plus 3.5K on the night, was in for 1,500 total, I think, and out for over 5,000. So in a 1-3 game, I will take that every single day of the week. So pretty good result. Has been a bit of a tough stretch lately, but feels good to get a super nice dub here on this Friday night.
We're out of here.
4 hours, 4 or 5 hours. Awesome for hours. Yeah, pretty good. Thank you.
All right, just finished up playing a huge 1-3 Hold'em stream. Was still, the game was still going after the stream broke, but I'm tired and I might go play a tournament tomorrow, so just wanted to go home and go to bed, but was in for 1.5K and out for 5,300 and change, so pretty good night. I'll take it. We'll be back on the stream again on Friday and possible tournament tomorrow. All right, that's it for this one. A lot of questionable hands in there. I don't really think I played the best on this stream, but kind of ended up working out for me a lot of the time. So that's just a little piece of the run good. Sometimes it's not just about the cards that I get, but also maybe making some mistakes and not getting punished for it. So I'll take it. Super nice profit on this one. Let me know what you guys think about some of these hands. I was really in between, kind of in game and even after, not really knowing if it was the right move. It's a little bit difficult to kind of look up these spots to study, which doesn't really matter too much anyways. I don't really study cash games that much because it's low stakes for the most part. I study tournaments where it matters more, but can't really look up these spots anyways because everything's like 5 ways and there's nothing solved for that. But all the poker pros in the comments, you guys let me know what I did wrong, what I did good. I don't know. This was kind of a weird one, but good dub, back on the right track, and I'll see you guys next video.